Your Honor, she doesn't deserve a cent, my brother said, not even looking at me. She barely visited Dad. I'm the one who sacrificed. My hands were shaking when the judge asked, "Is that true, Ms. Bennett?" I stood up and said, "No. And I can prove it." The room felt tight, like the air had been sucked out. The sound of the clock ticking was the only thing louder than my own heartbeat. Everyone was staring at me, waiting for me to break. They thought I would. They were wrong. My name is Alyssa Bennett, and I'm 34 years old. I work as a mid-level bank compliance analyst. It's not glamorous or flashy. It's steady. In my family, I was always the responsible one. I handled paperwork and paid bills while my older brother soaked up praise. He was the one they always praised. The charming son. The loud dreamer. The one who could do no wrong. I wasn't rich or impressive. I drove a used Honda and lived in a small apartment near the hospital where Dad spent his final months. When Mom passed years ago, I stepped in quietly. I scheduled appointments, managed bills, and cooked meals. My brother showed up for holidays and photos. I showed up for chemo appointments. I never asked for recognition. I just wanted Dad comfortable. But after he died, everything changed. Suddenly, I wasn't the quiet daughter anymore. I was the greedy one, at least according to my brother. What he didn't expect was that I had kept every receipt, every transfer, every record. If you've ever been the responsible one in your family while someone else got the praise, you know how that feels. Subscribe if you've been underestimated because you stayed quiet. Tell me in the comments, were you the fixer too? Click hype and let's step into what really happened in that courtroom. The will reading should have been simple. Dad left me $180,000, separate from the shared assets. It was written clearly. My brother stood up right there, in the lawyer's office. He was confused, he said. She manipulated him. I felt heat rush to my face. You pressured him when he was sick, he snapped at me. You're good with paperwork. You knew how to twist things. I could smell the stale coffee in the room and the old carpet beneath my shoes. It made me feel sick. A week later, he filed a legal challenge. Financial exploitation. That was the accusation. In the courthouse hallway, I heard whispers. I always wondered how she afforded that apartment. My own aunt avoided my eyes. During the first hearing, my brother painted himself as the devoted son who handled finances. Then he dropped his surprise. Printed bank statements. Highlighted transfers. It looked like I had moved money into my account. I stared at the pages. They were real transactions, but they were incomplete. Cropped. The judge ordered a full financial review. As we walked out, my brother leaned close and whispered, "You should have known better." He thought I would stay quiet again. The first betrayal spread through the family, like gossip always does. My brother told everyone I isolated Dad. At the grocery store, my aunt turned her card away when she saw me. My phone buzzed one night with a text from my cousin. If you took advantage of him, just admit it. I stared at the screen for a long time. The second hit came fast. My brother froze the shared estate account, claiming he needed to protect it. He told me outside the courthouse, "You can't afford this fight. Just settle. Walk away with something small." He smiled like he was offering mercy. The third cut deeper. He told relatives Dad cried and said he regretted the will. That one almost broke me. I lay awake that night hearing the echo of that lie. For a moment, guilt crept in. What if I had pushed too hard about treatments? What if I had missed something? Then I remembered the accounts. I remembered every payment. I opened my laptop and pulled in my archived files. I called the hospital billing office and confirmed dates and invoice numbers. My voice was steady. I started preparing quietly. What they did not know was that I work in compliance. Documentation is not just paperwork to me. It is protection. I had downloaded and archived every transaction I made on Dad's behalf. I had written authorization emails from him, clear and simple. I had timestamps, invoice copies, and scanned medical bills. Most important, I had access to full transaction histories, not screenshots. The statements my brother showed were cropped. Transfers he called theft were reimbursements after I paid hospital bills from my own savings. As I reviewed the full records, something else stood out. Large ATM withdrawals on days I was out of town. $22,000 in total. The card number matched my brother's debit card. I leaned back in my chair and felt something shift inside me. I did not say a word to anyone. I organized everything into one clean digital folder and printed a single binder. I had a plan he never saw coming. A few days before the final hearing, Dad's longtime attorney, Mr. Halpern, called me. His voice was calm. "Your father was very specific," he said. He wasn't confused. He told me he had also questioned some recent account movements. We met in his office, which smelled like old books and paper. He reviewed my binder slowly, nodding. "This is solid," he said. Together, we prepared a clear financial summary. Meanwhile, my brother grew louder. He told relatives, "Once the judge sees the transfers, she's done." I heard he had already started planning how to use the money. The final hearing was scheduled. A full financial review was ordered. On the morning of court, I walked in carrying one organized binder. It did not look powerful, but it was. My brother stood confidently before the judge. "She drained $180,000 before he even passed," he said. The judge turned to me. "Ms. Bennett." I stood up. My hands were steady now. "Your Honor, I request the full certified transaction records be entered." Mr. Halpern handed over the official bank documents. Page by page, the timeline unfolded. $47,000 in medical bills paid from my personal account first. Reimbursements clearly labeled. Memo notes from Dad himself. The judge looked at my brother. Then came the withdrawals. $22,000 in ATM cash. The card number traced to my brother. The judge asked, "Mr. Bennett, can you explain these withdrawals?" He shifted. "That's not relevant." The judge's voice sharpened. "It is relevant." Surveillance timestamps confirmed he withdrew the funds while claiming I had control. The room went silent. I could hear the faint hum of the lights above us. The judge dismissed his claim and ordered a review of his withdrawals. My brother's face lost all color. The story he built collapsed in minutes. The case was dismissed. My $180,000 inheritance was upheld in full. The judge warned my brother about the consequences of false claims. Outside the courtroom, relatives avoided my eyes. My brother muttered, "We could have handled this privately." I looked at him and said, "You tried to ruin me publicly." Then I walked away. I did not feel powerful because of the money. I felt steady because the truth was on record. They thought being quiet meant being weak. They forgot quiet people keep receipts. If your family ever tried to twist money against you or accuse you of something you did not do, you know how heavy that feels. Share your story in the comments. Were you blamed unfairly too? Subscribe to stand with others who have been financially betrayed. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Did this story hit home? Let me know by liking the video and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Click hype to help this story find others who have felt the same way. Your support makes a huge difference.